Hello ladies and gentlemen, Lance again. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. This is a how-to video. Recently I've seen a lot of items becoming available online through Kickstarter and Indiegogo and all of these places that allow your iPad to be used on the LAN network in your house. So in other words, a wired network. It is actually very easy to do with just the dongles that you get from Apple directly. I actually use that fairly often with my iPad if I'm doing editing or anything like that on the go. And not all hotels have got wireless network. Some of them actually got a LAN port in the room, which is generally a better internet as well. So I take this along and I do all my stuff. You start off with obviously your power. A disclaimer, I use, because the iPad Pro 12.9 inch actually does support a fast charging type facility, but you need to have the MacBook power supply for that, which is slightly more powerful. I think it's 29 watts or somewhere in that region, but it's the one for the MacBook, the standard MacBook. And then you need to get yourself a cable, which is just a USB-C to Lightning. Voila. Because you do need a bit more power for this type of thing. You've got your power to drive this whole lot, and then what I use is this. It's a standard Apple Lightning to USB and another Lightning for power ostensibly. What you do is you take this number, obviously connect your power in there, and then to do the LAN side of it, all you really need is this, which is a old USB, I think it's 2 Ethernet, which is also available from Apple. It's actually an Apple item. That's all you need to connect that up. You pop that in there. You get your LAN cable, plug that in. Try not to destroy everything on your desk while you're plugging this in. Okay, so we pop this in. It's charging. Sometimes what it does is it takes a little while to register, or it says that you cannot use this device, but then it just goes away. You don't have to say okay or whatever, and it does actually use this device. Don't know why. It takes a little while to register. There, you'll see at the top left, it changes, the wireless connection goes away, and it just shows your, if you've got a cellular version, then it'll show you a cellular carrier. But if you go into the settings, you'll see that this new item has appeared over here, Ethernet. Click on that and you'll see there, Apple USB Ethernet adapter, and there you have all your normal settings for your network adapter. So it's got gateway, blah blah blah. This is on my local network, so it's just a standard DNS.1 and all that type of thing. But you can set it manually here if you want to. You know, you just click on there, go manual. Normally just plugging it in will do a trick. You're now on Ethernet. I've done a couple little tests here. As you can see, the normal connection speed is not fantastic. It is slightly better than wireless in my case, because I'm actually sitting on the far side of the house. So my wireless connection over here is, although it's strong, the actual throughput is not fantastic. A lot of people, especially in a home like mine where I have 20 devices from my kids to my wife to everything else that are actually using the wireless network, it's quite good if you just want decent throughput to actually connect here. What you can do is you can actually take this a step further. You can get yourself a, because when you're on the go, which is where I use a lot of this, I'll need to take from that camera that is busy recording now, and my other cameras have got a micro SD and a normal SD. You need to copy that off directly onto your iPad if you're doing editing using LumaFusion or whatever the case is. Pop out the network controller. Pop in this thing. This will only work if you've got the bigger power supply. Otherwise it won't be able to drive it. Pop that in there. And now you can actually pop this into, you'll see here, into one of the USB ports and it'll work just the same. Of course your cable will pull everything around everywhere because it's now cable, and there we go. It's actually gone into the LAN again. Ethernet, sorry. We now have our SD cards. Bonus. We can now import, export, blah blah blah. Just to show you that it works with SD card, I've got one of my camera's 64 gig SD cards here, and you'll see photos on your iOS device pop up, ready to import. There's nothing on this card, so that's why there's nothing showing here. But normally you would just then select your stuff and import it, and then you've got it ready for you to edit. The same scenario works with obviously a micro SD card. In fact, I haven't actually tried this, but this particular one has a CFast card. I don't use CFast cards, but I would imagine that the principle is the same, or the process is the same. So there you have it. You don't need to spend your money on one of these, the little SD card readers to Lightning. The only thing is, I've only found it working with the Apple Ethernet connector. So this little puppy here, it only works with this. I purchased a standard run-of-the-mill, also USB 3 StarTech Ethernet. Doesn't work. Doesn't get recognized. It comes up with a specific error. It's the chipset this thing uses that the Apple devices don't recognize. So the only one that I found that does actually work is the Apple one, which is freely available. I don't think Apple sells it directly anymore, but I found this on Amazon and it wasn't that expensive, so there you go. You can connect quite a bit through the Lightning port as long as you've got obviously the right dongles. As with anything Apple, it can make for a fairly good workflow if you are doing everything on your iPad. I know with packages like LumaFusion and Affinity Photo, these type of things becoming more and more viable to actually do editing on the go. I know I take my iPad whenever I go away, and that's all I do my editing on. I store everything on here. I've got an external drive as well that I use for backup, and yeah, that's my workflow. I don't take my laptop with me anymore. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.